Shalom. Shalom, my people. Shalom. Shalom, my people. Shalom, my people. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the Sabbath. This is the day we're supposed to be a day of worship. Give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself another round of applause. And this is the day that the Lord has made for us. This is the day of rest. This is the day of holy convocation. Today, normally I usually go through the daily events that happen. I'm not doing that today. We already know what's happening. We're in a time period now where things are getting rough, and that's just how things gonna be. So I'm adjusting this camera real quick. Yeah, this is how it's gonna be. So we're going through this stage, and we already know today's drink is the orange juice. Well, today, instead of giving that about the revelation, what's going on today, this book is called The Negro Quest. The Negro Question, Part 4, The Missing Link. Every war, but today's lesson gonna be Diaspora, bondage and slavery. Okay. I just want to give a few little things, see a few little quotes out of the books instead of giving the stuff that's happening in the world. We need to know the stuff that's happening with us. And so I was going through the book. I can never get enough of reading this book. Benjamin Franklin gave a bunch of eyewitness to the people that are originally the people of these different places, like Scottish, Japan, China. There's pictures in this book depict. You can't see it, but it depicts black people who the real Chinese or the real Japanese is or are. We are original people upon this planet. And until we recognize that or understand that, we're going to always be in the situation that we are in. We have to first get an identity to go forward. We cannot go forward without an identity. Everybody has an identity except us. We are lost people. We are called Negroes, Coons. We've been called by different names. I have another book here, and y'all heard of the book because it got Kyrie Irving in a lot of trouble. It's a very good book. It goes into, they used to call us Negroes, Jungle Bunnies, Tar Baby, Coon, Darky, Sambo, Monkey, Undesirable, Boy, Jigaboo. They called us all these names because we don't have one. In their eyes, we don't have a name. So they'll call us all these names, and we went by them. We went so far to have them on your birth certificate. Some people still living and had Negro on their birth certificate or black or so. So I mean, our identity has been stolen from us, and we never recaptured it back because we don't know the law, statute, commandment. We don't know the Bible. It wasn't that we couldn't read the Bible, like we couldn't read it, but it was in a different language. When we first came to slavery, we was talking Hebrew. That was our language. We didn't know nothing about this. It wasn't that we was illiterate because we wasn't. It's just that we came to a new land and we couldn't understand what they were saying. So they would teach us themselves. And that's where you got Christianity in. And that's why it's so hard for our people now to hear the truth because of slavery, which God put upon you. And another thing, you got to destroy the myth that God is this loving God, which he is. But he got another side to him for people who disobey his law that is his. We belong to the Most High. So we disobey his law, so we go through these trials and tribulation until we get it right. So God said, you will remember me in the time of trouble. God said, I shall laugh at your calamities, because we are a group of people that are hard-headed, stiff-necked, and do not care to learn. It's out here, but you don't want to learn it. During every war that they have, it's about destroying the original people over there. Okay, like they say the Holocaust. Do you not know that it was so-called black people over there? Why they don't talk about them? Because Hitler killed them the same way he killed the so-called Jewish man. He killed them. He destroyed them. He gassed them. Matter of fact, he did them worse than what he did the so-called Jewish people. But you don't never hear them claiming that. They don't tell you about that in history. So there's a lot of history they're not telling you. So we can learn, but we got to be willing to read. You got to be willing to take time out your day, 10, 15 minutes out your day, and just read a couple of scriptures and then read books. And it'll tell you your history. Our history is in the books. We are Irish. We are the Britons. We are the Scottish. We are the true here, the true people of the Bible. We are the Chinese. We are the Japanese. We are the people. And Ben Franklin wrote essays in 1951. Benjamin Franklin, essay 1751, I'm sorry. All Africans, which is us, because that's what they call us, Africans. Instead of calling us that by original name, because they got it from Africa, even though we are not Africans. The so-called Africans have sold us into slavery too. I got a picture of a book. You can't see it, but right here. This is a real picture. You got Africans that were selling us. We're not Africans. The Africans knew that we were not Africans, so you had to get out of that myth too that we are not African. We're on the west coast of Africa, the Ivory Coast. That's what we was. If you go read look at the movie, the movie called Woman King, they were selling us. So we're not them people. We have to start reading and studying. Benjamin Franklin essay 1751. All African is tawny, which is black, Asian chiefly tawny, that means they was black American exclusive of all the newcomers, wholly so. In Europe, the Spanish, French, Italian, Russian, and Sweden are joining what we would call swarthy black complexion. So are the Germans also. Saxon, which is the so-called white people, along with the English, make up the principal body of white people on the earth. You either Saxon or England, that's you. But originally, we was all the other nations that you see on TV. This is an essay that Benjamin Franklin wrote in 1751, telling you who you are, and you still refuse to believe it. You won't even believe us, the people who try to tell who you are, for then we can operate in a manner. I got another thing I pulled out in the book here. It said I want to read. This is kind of like a history lesson too, so I have to get this here before we can understand it. We are the people that the Bible speak of. If you go back and read some of the books that Kyrie Irving was talking about, it's called From Hebrew to Negro, you understand. That's why they canceled the book. Or not canceled him, but not the book. You still can buy the book on Amazon. They did not go after the man, the Amazon guy who owned the books, who not owned, but who sell the books. They went after Kyrie Irving because Kyrie Irving was quoting out of the book. You tried to blackball him, but you didn't try to blackball the man on Amazon. They don't want no black person in high status to tell other black people about the Bible, about the history, because then you might wake up. In the book, it says that there are roughly 44 million African Americans in the United States of America. Every black person in America donated $1,000 to the black African people, what they call us in America. This money could be used to set up a statewide black bank that could issue loan with little to no interest to fund major development in projects, school, housing, business, property, farming, industrial, agriculture, etc. We can have an economic within economics because we have the money, because we spend trillions of dollars on products. Fake hair, Jordans, cars we don't need, giant houses we don't need, stuff we don't need that does not belong to us. If we unify our system we can become a powerful nation. But of course, once you unify our system, they're going to bomb us. They're going to destroy us in some kind of way. The same way they did in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 2021. It's a bunch of other places that we had a striving community. Even here locally in Jacksonville, we had a striving community. But what they would do is they would tear down that community, get you to riot, and you would burn up your own community. So now you have no stores. So it was already systematically done, but we can't see it because guess what? We have what we call the hatred of us. I have to step away for 1 minute to go get my notes. Give me 1 minute, please. We have what we call individualism. And as a people, we cannot do that. But we've been taught to be individualized. You see, and some of us think like this. 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 9 through 12. But I'm just going to give you verse 10. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. Just because you have a benefit, that means that you have a nice car. You have a nice home. You have a nice job. You got a nice size bank account. You live in luxury. You have no worries, so-called. So you have an individual that you don't need God no more. You don't need unity. Because we are a separate entity within the entity. Because we don't love each other. We don't trust each other. The book is telling us that if we unify, we can have billions of dollars. However, since we have given up working for ourselves to work for others, we have voluntarily entered ourselves into a form of slavery. We borrow money from other races in the form of high interest rate, credit card, pawn shop, and payday advance because we have no money to even lend to each other because we have no unity. Until we come together as a unity, these people are using us. Trump using us, Kamala using us, the world using us, our own people are using us. We are in a place where we are seen stuck. Because think about something. I had my mom pass last year. But the information that she gave me and the information that I have gathered through other people that are older, we used to own our own stuff. Even history teaches that we own our own stuff. But when Martin Luther King came along and told us, let us join hands with them, we became independent of them. We lost our shops. We lost our school system. We lost our grocery stores. We had our own stuff. We made money. But when we joined with them, we had Negro League baseball, Negro League basketball. But we wanted to be with them so bad to a nation that destroyed our mind mentally. We didn't know what we was getting into. Following false leaders led us into our own destruction. And for people who don't think that God divided us, the church tell you that he didn't. But God tell you that he did. 32:8. When the Most High, when God divided to the nation their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, everybody came from Adam. So he said, this nation go here, this nation go here. God had already separated us way before y'all even think about separation. God never told us to join with them. He told us to separate from them because he didn't want us worshiping their pagan gods. When he gave us the promised land, when we came to Canaan, he told us not to worship their people. If you go read Deuteronomy, he tell you because they were doing some wicked stuff. And God didn't want us to be involved with them. He didn't want us to intermingle with them. But we did all these things that God told us not to do. So now you take that right now, we just still the same people because we still integrating with them. We still counting on them, but we separated from our own self. We still are docile, weak-minded people. You don't know that God told us to hate. You don't know that God told us to love. You don't know God says it's a time for peace, a time for war, time for growth, time for plucking. It's a time for a lot of things, but we don't know. Well, that's what I want to get to. Now I'm going to spend the rest of the time talking about the lesson, proving to you that we are in this situation because God did this to us. Nobody else done this to us. Until you realize that God is doing this to you, then you might accept the fact that I need to listen to what God tells me to get out of this. Because right now, you are one of the strongest people on the earth, the smartest. We do everything at the best. So how can a group of people come over there and take control of you now that God allowed it to? So let me get into it. And the uprooted and cast away. We are the uprooted and cast away. Wherever you go, you've been uprooted. That was never your original home, wherever you are. God said, I will scatter you abroad in all four corners. So you everywhere on this planet. That's how you are in Russia. That's how you are in China. Everywhere you at, these people had you in captivity. They had you in slavery. They came over there. They intermingled with us. Changed their nationality, changed the races of the people by intermingling with, sleeping with our women, men sleeping with their women. So it changed. I take this back. Not the men sleeping with their women. Of course, God didn't want that because you got to understand, when a black man sleeps with any other race, that baby's still black. But what they did, they raped our women. And once you rape the women, then you change the nationality of the people. Because now you become who that father. Serena Williams and her husband. None of them kids are black. All them kids that she got is a white kid. God sees it as they white by the bloodline, because the bloodline comes from the father. I want you to dismiss this myth when a woman said that I birthed you. Yes, you birthed me, but the seed comes from my father. The seed is in my father's private part, waiting to dispense into you for you to bring forth me. We didn't come from you. It never came that we came from you. So that's the myth that they told our people. So when women come out there and say, we come from you, I am a God. No. I put my child in you, and you is the carrier of my child that brought forth into the world. So if you go back to Adam and Eve, Adam was here first. Then God put Adam to sleep and then took a DNA out of him and formed woman. Man never came from woman. Woman always came from the man because you always came from our DNA. See, they tell you you're real, but it's DNA, your DNA curve, which come from out of the man testicles. So don't get it twisted. So stop doing this. You got to read. You got to study science. You got to understand. A horse, the seed is in the horse. The seed is in the zebra. The seed is in the lion. The seed is in the tiger. The seed is in the monkey, giraffe, the seed. So we get implanted into a carrier, which is our women. That we trust we entrust our seed into our women. That she will take care of our seed and bring forth a healthy child. Uprooted and cast away. And the Lord rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and a great indignation. He cast them into another land as it is this day. That's how we get to these different countries. Because God cast us out. Our land is Jerusalem. They fighting over our land. So if they want to destroy people like they did during the Russian, the German, the Italy, all these wars, the war was for them to come over there and destroy the people that are originally over there. The Hiroshima bomb. Up until then, in the 1900s, 1904, it was black. They came over with the bomb and dropped the bomb and killed the people that was in this area. They know where we were and dropped that bomb in that area and killed all them black people in that area. Every war that they have is to destroy our history, but we don't know it. They fighting over you to make sure that you don't never get to know who you really are. They'll make sure you get for you and never know who you really are. So the wars they are having is to destroy your history. Here I am trying to give you back your history, make you understand your history, make you understand science, philosophy. All this stuff go hand in hand with the word of God. That was Deuteronomy 29:28. 1 King 14:15. 1 King 14:15. I want you to grasp it. Please, please start listening, taking notes, and pay attention. For we can come out. I'm ready. I'm tired. All this week, I don't care what time. I've been having friends of mine tell me, go to bed later. Do this. I do. I stay up. I'm reading. I'm studying. I can't sleep. I ain't had a decent night's sleep. None this week. Getting up 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, saying my prayer, studying this book. Because God giving me information, let me know what's going to happen. And it's hard. It's a hard pill to try to navigate through this world, everyday life, and be happy when I know the future. What's going to happen to our people if we don't get it together? That's a hard task. I asked for it. So I got to bear it. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you, this is what's going to happen to us as a people. 1 Kings 14:15. The Lord shall smite Israel as a reed is shaken in the water. You get a reed and you smack it, and the way you go out. Well, that's what God said. God said, I sent you all over the place. Everywhere you went, I made you a slave, made you at the bottom because you won't come back to me. And the church not teaching you to come back to the Lord, so you are suffering. A terrible suffering. Everybody using, every politician is using us. I know this guy that in the gym ran for election for city councilman. I used to see him in the gym all the time. Nice, fit guy. But after he got elected, I promise you this man done gained about 100 pounds. Because guess what? He elected now. He fit now, so he just lazy. He come to the gym every now and then. Before then, he would come to the gym talking. Man, I'm running for election, doing this. I would talk to the brother. But now I see him the other day in the gym. He didn't want to, the man was embarrassed. He did like this, throw his hand up. Because they're getting in these jobs and they're not listening to the people. They start out because they want to get elected. Wherever we got a city councilman in our community, black, but look at your community. We got a Barack Obama, but look at Chicago. We done had black president. We done had black mayors, but look what they done to us. Because they get in these jobs and they forget about us. They only use us to get there. When they get there, they forget about you. So-called Alvin Brown was the mayor when I was working for the city. This man told these people, I'm going to save your job and get it, and find out. He was going around finding out these people how long they've been here. And 2 days before retirement, he was laying them off, firing them. So they do not treat us the way when other nationalities get elected, they cater to their people. The person running for president said, I'm let it be clear. I'm not going to make laws specifically for black people. But you signed the Asian law. You signed the Asian law. You signed the LGBTQ law. But you can't do nothing for who you said they are your people. And he shall root up Israel. Israel is a people. It always was a people before it became a place. So when you read the Bible, he talking about, you got to understand it. When he talking about a place, when he talking about people. Right here he said, and he shall root up Israel. Israel is the people out of this good land. So you know you can see the content that he's talking about the people. I'm going to root you out of Jerusalem, which is this good land, out of the land of Canaan, where I promise you. Which he gave to their fathers. He gave to our forefathers. and shall scatter them beyond the river, beyond the Euphrates. We went across the river. We went across the ocean, across the sea by ships of slave ships. What they had those slave ships. The Bible is true. You are them people who God uprooted out of the land, put you these shackles around your neck, beat your back in, had yokes of iron around your neck, and you come in and you disgrace God the way you are, the way you acting, you disgracing our God because you refuse to believe. Because they have made their groove provoke the Lord. And I'm keep trying to tell you, God doing this to you. God is beating our butt, but until we come together collectively, we all gonna still be in the same shit. I'm gonna die, you gonna die, and your kid gonna grow up and be the same situation. So what we leaving our kids is what our forefather left us. Because we're not teaching them to keep the law. God said you're supposed to be talking these law. It's the law. You don't keep the law, it's consequence. The same way you don't keep the law, it's consequences. They got cameras on every corner, in trees, under the ground. You don't know where they got cameras. They will find you. They will find you. They will prosecute you. So God got eyes. I see you. God see everything you're doing, and you will be punished. Exodus 13:3. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which you came out of Egypt. You came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Egypt was slavery. It tells you out of the house of bondage. For by strength of the hand of the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. No, you can't. Leavened bread is a representation of puffed up. You shouldn't go out here thinking you done this. God did it. That's what the purpose of leavened bread is when you do your feast. The leavened bread for 7 days, 14 days. That's what it is. It teaches you to humble yourself. You're not humble no more because you have too much. You actually have too much. You prayed more when you were a slave than you were so-called free. You sung songs. You had gathered amongst yourself. You shared your wealth, your food, everything you had, you shared. But you so puffed up now that you was better off as a slave than you was as a free man. Exodus 13:14. And it shall be when thy son ask thee, when your son and daughter ask thee in time to come. When the people to Egypt, this is what Moses told the people. It shall be a time later on in life, which is right now, that your sons and your daughter will ask you, saying, what is this? What is this? What is we talking about? What you mean by slavery? What you mean God did this to us? That thou shalt say unto them, by strength of the hand of the Lord brought us out from Egypt, from the house of bondage. God brought you out of slavery. But God told you God said be unleavened. That means don't be puffed up. Don't think you did it. Deuteronomy 5:6. I am the Lord that God which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. God keep telling you, I did that. I brought you out of slavery. But look what you do to me. Look how you disgrace me because I brought you out of slavery. I listened to your voice. Deuteronomy 7:8. But because the Lord loved you, and because he will keep the oath which he had sworn unto your father, has the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondage from the hand of the Pharaoh. You was in slavery back then. He had you in slavery. God did this to you. God brought you out. Well, guess what you do? You disobey God. God brought you back in. So guess what God do? God is waiting on you to cry loud. Come to him. Come back to the law, for he can bring you out with the mighty strong hand that he brought us out of the first slavery when we was in Egypt. God said, I brought you out of that. I put you in this land that I gave you. And then when you in Deuteronomy, he gave us that promised land. And guess what we do? We go there, we disobey God. Where we at now? We in this land, we disobeying God. So only way we're going to get out, you got to come back to the law, statutes, commandment, preach to God, he'll bring it out with a strong hand. Deuteronomy 27:6, Deuteronomy 26:6-7. The Egyptians evil entreated us and afflicted us, and laid upon us hard bondage, slavery, which is the same thing they did in slavery in the 14, the 15, the 1600, and even in slavery today. When we cried unto the Lord, our Father, the Lord heard our voice and looked on our affliction and labor and our prayer. God heard our voice. So He waiting on you to come on out of there. You got to pray to God and come on out. And He'll bring us back out. He'll lift that hand up again and bring us to the unity, bring us to the salvation of the Lord. Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tired, and ye shall have tribulations, because days, for tribulation 10 days be. Sure, you got 10 days mean unending. We're going to be going through all this tribulation. They're going to throw us in prison for believing in the word of God. This is what God is telling you. They're faithful unto the death. Be faithful unto death. Because death coming. There's going to be a time when they setting everything up for world dominance. They're setting the faith up for you. If you don't believe in that faith, you're going to be put to death. The same way they did us back in the day. If you ain't believe in Christianity, they put us to death. So them days are coming back. So the people who have the faith, you finna get tried. Like I'm finna get tried. We finna get tried. They finna bring us before the court of their system and saying, who you believe in? Do you believe in your God, or you believe in the God that I'm going to kill you for if you don't believe in? I will give thee a crown of life. And God said, you might die in this physical body, but your spiritual body is going to be a crown of life. Revelation 2:11. He that has an ear, let him hear. When the Spirit says unto the church, he that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. God gonna give you the crown of life. Then you say, well, He's talking about the whole church. Now I'm going to break down what the church is. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness. We were in the wilderness. He's talking about the Hebrew Israelite, the 12 tribes of Israel. Nobody else was in the wilderness for 40 years. Nobody was in that wilderness for 40 years. He's talking about we were the first original church. The so-called 12 tribes of Israel. We the first original church. So when God talking about you, He's talking about you, ma'am. Talking about you, sir. We are the original church. With the angels, we spake to Him in the Mount Sinai. I'm just trying to tell you that we are the original church. That is Acts 7:8. Jeremiah 16:12. And ye have done worse than your father. For behold, ye have walked early one after them imagination of his evil heart, that they may not hearken unto me. God said we're worshiping our forefathers because in slavery they prayed. They believed in God. You got too much freedom. You are fluffed up. God don't like a prideful people. We are a prideful people. We refuse to come back to the law when all this information is coming out. You still refuse because you live in that. I read that scripture. Wait, I'm gonna get back to it. 2 Peter. But 2 Peter 3, 7 and 8. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and prediction, ungodly men. God says your word is going to get you. The way you live. When judgment comes, God going to judge you harshly. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years, because you think you can get away with it. I get it right tomorrow. I do it the next day. God come quickly. So you think because you done had this time in between that God won't come get you. But God said, remember, one day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. So you don't know God's time. So you basically walking on pins and needles. Woe unto them. Isaiah 5:11. Isaiah, the 5th chapter, 11 through 13. I'm just going to read this one. Woe to them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strange drink, that continue until night, till wine and flame, to strange. This is a 2-part message. You talking about people that wake up early in the morning, and you drinking that alcohol early in the morning, and you drinking until night. It inflames you, cause you want to fight. But then also talking about you drinking that philosophy that they feeding you. I'm giving you the word of God, telling you scripture to go to. You don't want to believe that. You want to believe that strange philosophy. Wine is strange philosophy. Second Ezra is what I want to get to, where people think because they're being blessed. I read it earlier. You think because you are being blessed, you got a nice home, nice car, and everything. But this is what God say to you. Second Ezra 9, verse 9 through 12. But I'm going to read this one part of it. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. So God said you have received special benefits, but you don't know God. So you right now you think that you are of God because you receiving special benefits. So-called Christian, so-called people in them churches on Sundays, knowing good and well that the Sabbath on a Saturday. So you receiving special benefits from God, but God said you don't know me, and God don't know you. Shalom, my people. Shalom, my people. Share this message. Share this message. Give yourself a round of applause.